Yo, what up? Good morning, GM. Thursday. Woo! Oh, it's a beautiful day. Look at that. Thursday, October. Although, it's funny, the first day of October and the last day of October is just down. 31st. Woo, spooky. 2024. Happy Halloween, ladies and gents. It's a beautiful day to have a beautiful day with my wonderful co-hosts in the house. Tyler, Mando, good morning. How you guys doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, Mando. It's actually 25 degrees in Montreal on October 21st. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's actually not normal. I'm pretty sure it's record breaking. But it was negative 6 degrees on Saturday night. Yeah. So,
I don't even know. Let me check what the weather is where I am. It's definitely not that hot.
Just so people realize the swings, it went from 21 Fahrenheit to 77 Fahrenheit in 4 days. So we went from 70 Fahrenheit to 20 Fahrenheit to 70 Fahrenheit in a span of 7 days. So yeah,
maybe it's 20 degrees where I am. 20 degrees where I am.
It's 20 degrees where I am right now, and it's 10 a.m., which is wild. But I gotta say, hate to put that on the record, but that climate change, it's been kind of good to us over here. It's been kind of good to us. The only downside is we haven't really been getting snow on Christmas the last few years, which is really odd for Montreal. So it kind of sucks. Yeah,
that's terrible. That's terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's funny you say that. So Chicago is a pretty snowy town in general.
Yeah, it is, right?
It's one of the bigger downsides. My kids are 4 and 5 year olds, 4 and 5. They really haven't played in snow. We have not really had substantial snow for.
That's it. It's around. Time checks out 5 years. The last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what's crazy. So the kids today. Well, it's good for the kids going trick or treating in Montreal today because I've trick or treated in snow in negative 10 degrees when I was a kid, 20 years ago. Whereas nowadays, the kids get easy. Right? They get to go trick-or-treating. The parents are in t-shirts. The parents are rejoicing. I may go trick-or-treating today. I actually have a question for you guys. Is it weird if I go trick-or-treating? Yes. Why can't the grown man... What? My friend Pero was like, I would tase you if you came trick-or-treating to my door. And Wizard said, I will shotgun you. I'm like, yeah. Wizard will blow my head off. And Pero, he can only tase me because I'm from Toronto, right? But what?
Well, Wizard's off voting in California somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, you guys... Wait, is it... Wait, hold on. I can't trick or treat. What if I'm
just find a kid, find a kid that you know and and tag along with it.
That's
that's the only normal way to do it.
Hold on. Find a kid you know and and tag along.
We gotta stop. Okay, this conversation stops.
Move on.
Today on the show.
Who's this guy? Oh, I just like you, so I'm tagging him.
This is not the time to make jokes like this. Especially after my video from yesterday went viral. This is not the time to make jokes like that.
Yeah.
Today on the show, today. Actually, you know what though? What I would do? I would be that uncle that takes his brother's kids trick or treating today. You know what I mean?
Does your brother have any kids?
My brother's 22 years old.
Exactly. So.
You say exactly, but back in Tyler's days at 22, you had 2 kids.
No, I just mean which kid are you picking then? Who are you going to be the uncle to?
I don't have any nieces and nephews. My brothers. Yeah. Vanessa doesn't have any.
So maybe Tyler's option is the best. Just find a kid that you like and tag along.
Okay, this honestly needs to stop. You know what though? I kind of want to go walk around. I'll go. Okay, fine. How's this? I'm gonna go walk around the neighborhoods that are super rich and giving away candy.
Whoa!
This really needs to stop, right?
Yeah, I had some additional thoughts, but I think we should probably move on.
Yeah, maybe it's all right. Today on the show, today, market report, Bitcoin is racing to zero on the back of BlackRock buying $875 million of Bitcoin in 1 day, and Michael Saylor announcing that he's raising $42 billion, yes, with a B, to buy more Bitcoin. Naturally, the market started nuking on the back of those very, very, very positive news for the industry, but we'll talk about that in a second. Maybe it's because we realized that we got data yesterday that Europe is in a recession, but we'll talk about that in a minute. We'll let Michael take over. Data has shown that there's definitely recession in the EU. Anyways,
it's looking bad.
It's pretty bad. We'll get into that in a second, actually. We'll probably start with that before the market. Tyler's top 1,000. We'll see what Tyler has in store for us. But again, I think I think, Tyler, you probably got a lot to talk about today. I've seen a lot happen yesterday, personally speaking, on the earnings and everything side. And then Robit giveaway. So make sure you're retweeting what you got to retweet. Make sure you enter rafflebot.xyz. And the code today is actually drinks. Ha! I give it early, but you got to have to count it because we're not going to put it on screen yet. But yeah, so yeah, that's the code today. Don't tell anyone. It's drinks, DRINKS. And then last but not least, this show is powered by, do you know who it's powered by? Do you guys know who this show is powered by? I wonder if people know actually who this show is powered by. Oh, this show is powered by Galaxis. With seamless built-in monetization tools, Galaxis enables the development of sustainable long-term communities fulfilling Bitcoin's vision of decentralized freedom and independence from centralized control. Come check him out at Miami Art Basel at the Art House. It's going to be fire. You guys are finally going to be able to see what Galaxis is all about. Anyways, Mando's got a speech for us right here. Let's see what he got.
Who is the man, macro daddy of the land? Can you dig it?
Yeah, GM everyone. So it is not a great day for Bitcoin to start. Like not crazy, just a little bit lower. I didn't think we were going to break through all-time high until the actual election day, or maybe the day before, something like that. You were always going to get a little bit of a wobble, I think, around this level. Probably, I don't think we're going much lower, but I also don't think we're going to break through all-time high before the election, just because there's just too much uncertainty around that. Bitcoin dominance just keeps on going higher as well, though. Like, Bitcoin dominance is now comfortably above 60. Even that ETH rally, just like never trust an ETH rally.
Bro, every time, man. Every time. We joked about it, and it's not even like it's
just reverse straight away. So yeah, ETH back down below 2,600. Most alts down comfortably, like 5 to 10%. Yeah, not a great board to see, but I think also like not really unexpected. I do think that if Trump wins, that there's a chance that I wouldn't be 100% certain that Bitcoin dominance continues to go higher. Like I said that I thought Bitcoin dominance could hit its all-time high before the election. I'm not too sure afterwards, because if he wins, there is a chance here that people get very bullish on alts, because you can start pushing through policy. So, like for example, you saw yesterday that somebody else called Canary Capital has, which is the originally name
Canary Labs. Yo, by the way, Bitcoin dominance crossed 60. I didn't realize. Wow.
Yeah, comfortably. So I think you could get a little bit more bullish on that sort of stuff. So I would be unsurprised if we saw a little bit of rotation, actually. But at the same time, maybe the immediate reaction is a ton of money goes into Bitcoin again. Like that's what we've been seeing. I just think up until the election, it was obvious that Bitcoin dominance keeping going high. I think afterwards, actually, you can make a case for both. So we'll wait and see there. But I do think there'll be days where people get really bullish on some of these altcoins. So you could have big moves higher. But yeah, a little bit of a wobble. Actually, yes. Well, we've had some like slightly weakish earnings out of some of the big Magnificent Seven yesterday. Facebook, I think, burned like $5 billion in their metaverse style unit again. And Microsoft had slightly weaker earnings, so that's taken down the Nasdaq slightly, I think, today, which is also kind of set us a little bit lower. Nasdaq's down 2% today, so and that's dragged lower by Microsoft and Meta. So a weaker day kind of across the board. Yesterday's GDP number was like nothing really to write home about. It was like not that weak, not that super strong. It came in at 2.8%, which probably shows that we're not heading towards a recession. We do have NFPs tomorrow, which is another relatively important data figure, and we'll see how that one goes. But yeah, nothing from the economic side that's dropping. It's more just like some of these Magnificent Seven stocks came out with weakish earnings and we're selling off on the back of that. And yet, but we did get some news out of Europe that we're heading towards a pretty nasty recession, actually. So Rec Drinks had a complete sellout in North America and Canada. In Europe, still have 3,500 to sell, guys. We actually did sell a lot of drinks. So yesterday, Osaf was telling me that we beat beat the Pudgy Penguins day one revenue when they sold their toys. I didn't know that until he sent it to me. So I was like, wow, we did sell a lot, but there is still in Europe. I think they're going to open it up to the US though now as well. Like we're just going to have longer delivery time. But yeah, we've got about 3,500, I think, to sell there. But good first day for that. But yeah, North America running away with it clearly.
Yeah, some early numbers from a recession happening in Europe. Seemingly, it looks like people can't afford to drink anymore in the EU. No, things have gone really bad. I think the UK upping the taxes yesterday morning did not help the case. But again, America, coming out to bail the EU. Last time we saw that was in the 1940s. And it seems like that America has come up because breaking news straight out of the lab.
Rug Radio. Breaking news.
Rec Drinks is now restocking in the United States of America. News fresh out of 10:12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, aka 4 minutes ago. 3,698 units remaining and can now be sold in the US and Canada as well. So make sure that you get your Rec Drinks on recdrinks.com, recdrinks.com, and get a taste of freedom.
I want to figure out. I've got 264 cans of this coming to the house.
Holy
I have
shit!
to figure out where I'm gonna be storing these things.
I had the same problem. Like
Kids are getting Rec
I
Drinks
haven't not
for Christmas.
told my wife. I was just like, yeah, let's just see what happens when they turn up.
The kids are getting Rec Drinks for Christmas.
We talked about
Yeah.
this. We might have to run. The kids might be running a Rec drink stand instead of a lemonade stand here.
Yeah, exactly.
We gotta maybe we'll resell some of these.
Yeah, that's like what they did with Prime, right? In the playground, they get sold for like 10x the amount.
Yeah, it's definitely crazy. It's gonna be
Hand them out at Halloween,
well, they would have to get here right now. I mean, I would hand them out on Halloween. I have 5 cases under
You've
my
got some,
desk.
right?
Yeah, they're here. I kept them here. I'm too lazy to bring them back down because I brought them upstairs. So they're here. I haven't had a single one to drink because I kind of don't want to drink them. I want to keep them fresh forever.
Mm.
I don't know. I feel in 30 years this will be like a collector's thing. I wonder how they taste in 30 years. Maybe like a fine wine, like a vintage Chateau Rect. Premier Cru.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyways, let's talk about the market again. So, Mando, why are we dumping? Like, honest question though, like dead ass. Like,
Have we dumped?
I mean, yeah, we lost $2,000 on Bitcoin on the news that no, honest question though, like, why is there a sell-off on the back of I know we'll talk about Coinbase and Robinhood earnings in a second, Tyler, but Coinbase earnings are not that bad. They're barely missed, right? There was a mistake. They were $100 million off.
Oh, so I don't think we're selling off because of that.
No, but what I'm saying is it's barely missed, so shouldn't be selling off because of that. 875 mil record-breaking day for IBIT, and then you have $42 billion announcement of a raise for Bitcoin macro sailors. So what's the reason why we would be selling, Mando? Like you'd figure it out on back of news like that, you're pushing.
At the end of the day, like the exchanges, the bigger players and all of this, they can move stuff around as they want. Like as we get to all-time high, we have not broken through this level 12 times. Like at every single one of those times, it felt like we were going to break through, right? Every single one of them, it felt like, oh my God, this is it. And then it didn't happen. All I know is that last time, the only thing that got us out of that range was the Bitcoin ETF being approved, right? Okay. That's what broke us out of the range. Some big, and I think it's going to be something like that again. I think you need that like big jolt where everyone goes like, right, the game's changed. We can go higher.
Okay. I guess we'll see that. But you were saying before the show that what we need for Bitcoin at all-time highs is these elections to be done. Do you think that no matter who wins, we see we're just gonna navigate through all-time high? It's like some sort of like overhang happening on the space right now until November. What is November? What date exactly is elections? Everyone gives me different dates every time I ask.
It's Tuesday.
Election day. Okay.
So
Tuesday.
that's the 5th, November 5th.
November 5th. So we have
Yeah.
6 days until the elections now. Do we think that it's just the type of thing that election happens, no matter who wins, market goes up?
No,
Or-
no. I think we'll sell off. I think we'll sell off if Kamala gets in, but I don't think it will be for a long period of time. I think we'll have that initial jolt down. Probably cements itself as like even higher on the dominance if Kamala wins, right? So I think you could see Bitcoin dominance go up to there like 65% if that happens.
Okay. We'll see. There you go, James. Shout out to the restock alert. Order confirmed. Love that. We need some huge news. I mean, damn. What other big news, Hector, do we need than BlackRock buying $1 billion of Bitcoin in one day? I'm like, I mean,
we got bigger news than that out of Big Mike,
big.
Michael Saylor.
Michael
Oh,
Saylor,
you-
man.
But not Michelle Obama.
Okay.
He,
What do you mean?
Shut up, Michael. I thought Big Mike Mando, you know, Big Michael Mando, big Mando. Anyway, so there's that. Quickly though, Tyler, Mando, we're 6 days ahead of the elections. Before I go to Tyler's Top 1000, how are we feeling? Who do we think is ahead right now? I mean, the prediction markets and the money markets are all still on a very strong Trump win. How do we feel? Like, how do we feel right now about all this?
As in, do I think Trump's going to win?
Yeah.
I think Trump's going to win.
Okay, Tyler, your boots on the ground though. Your boots on the ground in the United States of America. How does it feel over there?
I think that the crypto Twitter sentiment is disconnected from boots on the ground sentiment. And of course, like my perspective is a little biased. I'm in Chicago, which is a very blue city. I think the vibes, the poly market odds have gotten folks to think that Trump's going to walk away with this in a landslide. And I'm just here to remind everyone that it is a coin flip still. Silver's got it at 55-45. So he's still favoring Trump.
Oh, wow.
So Trump has the edge, but he has the edge in a coin flip. Like it is not set up to be a landslide. And
No.
I've seen I think some of the Trump tweeting could be interpreted as he's got some internal data that he doesn't like. I think they're trailing in Pennsylvania, and they're starting to get worried about that. They are clearly very focused on getting out the vote in Pennsylvania right now. If you scroll through, that's the underlying tone that I'm picking up. And
Yeah.
Interesting.
this thing is tight. It really is tight.
Okay.
But
Well,
when you're on crypto Twitter, you think he's going to run away with it. And
well, obviously, yeah, but that's CT, right? CT's always been like a little echo chamber of an echo chamber, right? I have to say, I really like the whole like garbage man gig.
I mean, he's funny. Like you gotta give the guy credit. Like he knows how to lean in. He knows how to lean into this stuff.
Him and Vivek, right? Like Vivek also went and like worked the truck, right?
Yeah.
But I have to say, like,
These are just
played.
ridiculous photos.
USA is one big like just reality show right now. Oh my god, this is so good. So, Beeple never misses a beat. So anyways, I saw that yesterday. The elections are, man, it's honestly just comical. Jesus Christ, man. I really am excited for this to finish. I think it's going to leave a big empty gap on CT for a minute, but I think we're going to get over the fact that there was elections and we're going to move forward with it. I'm excited for this all to be done next Tuesday.
I can share my favorite bet. So I think a lot of the election markets I think are tough because again, like I don't feel like I have an edge. I think it's a coin flip, and like I'm not really one to bet on coin flips.
Yeah.
I picked no on record turnout in the 2024 election. And
Really?
I feel pretty strongly about that. I think we'll see very strong turnout in the swing states, but so many of the like the United States is so divided right now that most of the states, like your vote truly doesn't matter. And I think a lot of people in like the deep blue states aren't fired enough about Kamala to come out and vote. And I think so many of the deep Republican states are like Trump's going to win. So it's like you don't really need to get out to vote. Silver put out his model. He's got it coming in at around 7 million under what the 2020 Turn it
You gotta love the comment from the guy who voted yes, right? 3 factors to consider. 1, there are more eligible voters overall. 2, Trump will get more votes this time than in 2020. 3, that's the funny one. That means that the Dems will have to print more ballots to steal the election.
He's got 10 shares. He's got $5.
He's got $5 on the line. And
That's incredible.
that is actually some of the most funniest thing I've seen in here. This is the one. This is such a funny comment.
I got in at 20%. It's doubled since then.
Yeah.
So I like my side.
Someone said eligible voters increased by 8 to 12 million people on average every presidential election cycle, even if turnout were to be down a few percent total number of votes. Yeah, I will see. That's a risky one. I'm surprised it's so close, 45-55 here on this one. You'd figure the no, you'd have a better odds at that, right? But no. All right. Seems like a lot of people seem to think that as well. Is there any other bets you're participating in for this?
I might look at some of the state lines as we get closer. Like if Kamala's a huge dog, I might take some Kamala gambles because again, I think some of these are tighter than I think Wisconsin specifically is one. I think we'll go Kamala. What are the so she's underdog in Wisconsin.
She's an underdog in Pennsylvania.
Wow, that's shit. I might have to look at that. Yeah.
So
And that's basically the election bet right there too. So
you going on Silver's model, or how do you think that she's gonna?
Yeah, I pull most of my information from his model. I look at some of the other models as well, but I put the most stock in his.
Are there any other models that are doing it?
The Economist.
The Economist. Okay.
And then the 538 still runs a model, but theirs is not as good since he left.
Oh, he doesn't own that anymore?
Correct. So he branched out on his own. So he's running his under. It's called the Silver Bulletin.
Oh, okay, right.
So he's running it off of a paid Substack now, and 538 kept
them. Even Nate Silver's got a paid group.
Yeah, God.
He does.
That's crazy. All right, well, hopefully, we'll see if he's right or wrong in 6 days, y'all. 6 days. Isn't the early vote done now? Wasn't it like a ton of people that went out to vote already?
No, I voted yesterday. You can early vote all the way up until I think some of the states, like maybe the mail-in, there might be restrictions on like the last day to do mail-in voting.
I like that. All right, well, make sure you're voting because if you don't vote, you're not allowed to talk shit.
Or don't vote if you're in a decided state. Tell me win my bet, I guess.
This guy, don't vote. Take someone else's child to Halloween. Okay. I'm just playing with you. All right, Tyler, let's see what you got for us.
For daily NFT and crypto analysis. Tyler D on FOMO hour calls the kid can't miss.
Ready to patch some barriers. A lot of big macro news, but the top story, Michael Saylor announced plans to raise $42 billion in capital to buy Bitcoin for MicroStrategy. Just an absurd number. This comes the same day that the Bitcoin ETF set a new local high in net inflows, $893 million on the back of $875 from BlackRock's IBIT. That number is bigger than all but 7 of the 590 ETFs, which have launched in 2024, have seen all year. To put that number in perspective. So it is a gigantic number. The U.S. Treasury Department, they shared a new report with concerns around stablecoins, arguing they should be replaced by a CBDC. So, folks, that is a storyline to watch. In earnings news, bad day for earnings. Coinbase missed earnings. They saw $1.21 billion versus $1.25. Expected, though, they did announce $1 billion in share buybacks. They also announced $25 million in funding for the Fair Shake PAC, as they are already looking to the next midterm elections. Robinhood also missed earnings. Their Q3 crypto volumes were up year over year, but fell substantially from Q1 and Q2, though they responded this morning by listing all the leading meme coins on Robinhood EU crypto. So shout out to Robinhood for that. Perhaps Coinbase will follow. Reddit turns out they've sold the majority of their crypto holdings, though they didn't have a ton. Canary, Van Eck, and 21 shares are all seeking approval for a Solana ETF now. And I think we covered this yesterday, but Mr. Beast is being investigated for having pumped and dumped over $20 million in crypto tokens. In protocol news, the Arena saw 61% of his claims tokens staked 3,000 new users. Good start for them. Myriad welcomed 100,000 Decrypt users into beta access. So if you are a Decrypt user on that sub list, go check out Myriad. Get your beta access going now. Kudus, a Solana-based fitness tracking project with rewards and a wearable ring, got mentioned in Vogue Business. So that was a big mention for them. And then Nillion announced a $25 million raise as they aim to create the first private data ecosystem. So some big numbers there. And memes and NFTs, well, the meme majors were green. They flipped red after Bitcoin just fell off. The Cat, Shibu, Ban, Fartcoin were top movers. It looks like this new RIP ETH token is the hot runner of the morning. Maybe we'll take a look at that. Moonshot is expanding to Base. So good news for Basecoin owners. In NFT news, we saw Artifact announce prizes for CryptoKicks owners in a new Move to Earn initiative. Casey Rodamore's Memento Mori opened up at a $15 million market cap on 100 plus Bitcoin volume, though I think it is down a bit the last few hours. And then new data shows that the Bitcoin on-chain ecosystem, runes and ordinals, it is not growing. And in fact, it has lost about 2,000 Bitcoin in TVL since May. So that is an important data point for those who are playing in those streets. And that is that's the rundown there.
I love that, especially the Myriad news. We'll touch on that in a minute. But before that, let's talk about MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor. So he's raising $42 billion in order to buy more Bitcoin, and he buys it on leverage, right? Is that what I'm getting?
So yeah, they split their funds between equity raises, fixed income securities, and like they've done debt instruments. So they essentially will sell debt. They'll sell equity to buy more Bitcoin. For perspective, go ahead.
They do convertibles, right?
Yes.
You want to explain that for people on the show?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a bit of a financial instrument here, but like on an upside scenario, it's equity. On a downside scenario, it's debt. So if the stock price were to fall below a certain level, it would be classed as debt on the balance sheet, which would be like leverage. If it keeps on going, if the stock keeps on going above a certain level, it's equity like. It for all intents and purposes though, I feel like you're scared about if Bitcoin tanks, that would be debt. Like in the bad scenario, it would be debt, and it would be a levered bet, and it could get nasty.
Okay. I think it was Peter Schiff that was under Saylor's tweets calling him out, saying at some point he's going to go bankrupt right there.
I do think Saylor because Saylor's strategy is to buy stuff on leverage, essentially. He's got like this incredible deal where like the interest that he actually pays on the converts is basically close to zero. And his stock, actually, if you followed MicroStrategy stock versus Bitcoin, but it trades at a premium over where its Bitcoin on its balance sheet is. So like he's actually like creating value for himself by printing the equity and then just buying Bitcoin. But yeah, like remember that last cycle, right? Saylor has a level. He does, and he's buying it on the way up, which means his liquidation level is going higher. So yeah, you have to be cognizant of that. I do think it's like mathematically certain that he will blow up. I don't know how to describe this, but
that would be just like terrible for the industry, no?
It's not like way up with leverage. At some stage, there's going to be an 80% drawdown. And
but what question is what then? If isn't he smart enough to know that? Like, what's the why?
Don't he still pay interest on the debt? Like, as long as he can cover the debt payments, you would have to be able to cover the debt payments until the Bitcoin price got above the level again.
Well, no, it really depends. Yeah. What you're saying, is kind of, he would be considered insolvent, but he would if the interest payments are still low enough, then he could probably satiate them until it wouldn't be a trigger, let's say. So yeah, what you're actually saying, Tyler, is correct. Like if it drops 80% and it stays below there for, let's say, into a maturity of one of his debt instruments, that would be a real problem for him.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think there's growing calls on the timeline like that this is the next potential Luna. Certainly see that scenario, but it feels like he's going to give himself some outs. So I don't know that I'm convinced he's going to blow up. But to share some perspective, they've only got they have 252,000 Bitcoin. It's worth $18 billion. So they're looking to basically more than triple the amount they have.
Like that is a monster amount of, like, even for like I don't know how much debt, for example, Apple has, and not many of these companies have big amounts of debt because they have so much cash, but like that would make him one of the biggest borrowers in US credit markets with that sort of size.
Interesting. Okay.
It's a massive number. It is worth, if folks haven't been following MicroStrategy stock, it's worth pulling up the chart. So
yeah, let me pull it up for you right now. Trading view.
Bitcoin's up 70% and MicroStrategy is up 260% this year.
So I remember seeing this and asking like the chat and stuff. Like I think it was KBM that was telling me that was just like a massive squeeze or some shit. Is that what happened?
More than that. So he actually owns essentially levered Bitcoin, like we just said. So whenever Bitcoin does 100%, like he actually does get like 200 and like it should go up that by that amount. But yeah, it is also trading at like a 30 or 40% premium right now versus the Bitcoin on the balance sheet.
Okay. Interesting.
To be clear, working as intended, though, this.
Yes, it's working, right? I mean, clearly it's working. Yeah.
Then you've got the ETFs, which offer like 1.5x and 2x levered bets on MicroStrategy.
Oh, wow.
Which are starting to catch more volume as well.
Yeah, that's insane. Speaking of which, Tyler, record-breaking day for IBIT, huh?
Yeah, I mean, we covered it early. I mean, this is just an insane number, like basically on back-to-back days. Like folks are just struggling with like, how did the price not go up? So I think it still like raises the question: is it like delta neutral, or like exactly what is happening here? And then Nate Girassi is actually the one who compared it to the rest of the ETF industry, and it's wild that all but 7 of 590. It did more volume in a single day than all those have all year. Just to put this in perspective, I mean, I share this quotes and like we talk about like down the risk curve stuff. I mean, I think we talk about the macro picture a lot, but like more and more billionaires are coming out and talking about this. So we talked about Paul Tudor Jones, and I was listening to the All In podcast. Chamath is the Bitcoin champion on that pod, and he said on last Friday's show that the resounding inflation hedge asset for the next 50 or 100 years is Bitcoin, and that the die has been cast. So I mean, he's saying it is gold. Like the market's decided this generation, all the next generation's gold is Bitcoin, digital gold. I don't know. It's pretty powerful. Like don't miss that. Like don't get so caught up on the day-to-day stuff that you miss the big picture. I think that's
I love Girassi tweets. This was literally me last night. So funny. And then this is so good. Remember that nobody knows anything. That was JP Morgan doubts that the approval of a US Bitcoin ETF would be a game changer. That was back then in July last year. And then I don't think you're going to see massive flows into these spot ETFs, said David Donabedian, Chief Investment Officer of CIBC Private Wealth US. I don't get the sense that there is a massive pent-up demand to have Bitcoin exposure. Those are all obviously like receipts from a year ago, and it looks like obviously they're aging like fucking terribly. It's crazy, man. Spot Bitcoin ETFs now hold over 1 million Bitcoin.
I do think it's the delta neutral trade. Just like Bitcoin, you can do a delta neutral trade here and clip 12% on Bitcoin a year. Now that number, like in Bitcoin, for all of us who fucking have all of our money in crypto and see that sort of a move all day, that's nothing. But for a lot of funds, like if you can make teens as a hedge fund, like most hedge funds don't outperform the S&P.
So crazy.
So. And if you can lock in teens returns, that's pretty good.
It's actually so insane what's happening right now on the ETF side. So it's
what's also insane is the ETF, the ETH ETFs. Go pull up the ETH board on DGens. And on a day where BlackRock had 870 million into their Bitcoin and 0 into their ETH. Like, what? Like that honestly, like it just doesn't even make sense. It's like
hey, it was a green day yesterday. There was $4 million worth of ETH bought. I think Mando bought more than that in like an hour.
It's so red over the last 5 days. It's
Mando does more volume than the fucking Ethereum ETFs.
RIP ETH.
That's actually crazy
Good.
thought.
For the ETH ETF. It's not going looking good for the Solana ETF. That means as well, though, guys. Like
Exactly.
you can't sell ETH. You can't sell like.
Yeah, but you know what the trade is? Is Trump wins, and then the idea of Solana ETF running up, and then you sell the shit out of the approval, right?
Well, I think I guess if Trump wins, you have a bigger call for like a broader tokenization regulation.
Yeah. Well, it's XRP, it's Solana, it's a basket, right? It's all the ones that are kind of being listed, and then maybe like a meme coin basket. I don't know, but would be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, I mean, I joke about it, but I think if you want a Solana ETF, you have to be rooting for the ETH ETF because it does feel like it's a pretty big long shot for the Solana ETFs to do well if the other crypto basket can't get any inflows.
I mean, I have a question. And it would be like, is there? Because what if like the new participants in this economy actually believe that Solana is the better tech because it's more adopted? We don't really know that, right? Because so far it's shown that there's more demand, appetite for Solana in the markets than there is for Ethereum. So I'm just curious about how people outside of our bubble feel about it. Probably don't even know the difference, but
Well, no, that's the thing. Like,
do they buy based off the headlines? Like all the headlines right now, mostly being about Solana is accepting this or is building that or fucking the marketing of it. I don't know. ETFs are just marketing, right?
I think we see a lot of that. I do think that what I meant by tokenization is like the tokenization of real world assets.
Yeah.
And if you see a big trend towards that, then I do think that Solana probably has a slight edge there, just because it's a faster, cheaper chain to do those sort of trades on. But I don't know. But I do think, like I said before, if Trump gets in, I do think Bitcoin dominance could go either way. It's definitely not. We could be seeing like the mini high for it here.
Okay. We'll see where that takes us. With that, just a reminder, the code is DRINKS, DRINKS, rafflebot.xyz, DRINKS. Make sure you're tweeting, make sure you're following, and get all that done. Speaking of earnings, I mean, we may as well keep going on the earnings side. I thought there was a bunch of good earnings across the board, Tyler. Is there not?
I think like they all missed. That's why the stock market's down today.
Yeah.
A couple points. It was a huge day leading into like at close yesterday. All these stocks were kind of pricing in like 5 to 10% moves plus or minus based on how earnings would come in. And they all pretty much came in down. On the crypto side, so Coinbase, they came in 1.2 billion. They just missed on the overall at 1.26. It does look like trading volumes were down from Q2. They came in at 185 billion versus 226. I don't know. That's a huge surprise. Like when you think about Q3, it's two of the peak summer months.
It's July and August, right? I think people don't realize that Q3 is this weird, even as a founder, like Q3 is this weird like quarter where it's like not much happens.
It was quiet. Numbers were down. The majors were kind of chop solidating or whatnot. They did stay profitable. So $75 million profit in the quarter. That compares to $2 million loss Q3 2023. So year over year is still pretty strong. They did announce a $1 billion share buyback plan to capitalize on the market. So they are betting on themselves. Then I think the other aspect of this, so stablecoin income rose to 250 million. So that's a pretty solid line item right there. They saw USDC on Coinbase jump to 6.6 billion. And then they're going deeper into politics. So they announced another $25 million for Fairshake, focused on getting pro-crypto candidates elected in 2026. So they're already starting to look ahead. So I have to keep rooting them on there.
Okay. I mean, the Coinbase miss was not crazy, right? It was they earned, it was 121 and then the estimate was 125. Mando, I saw you make a tweet about that. I made the same joke yesterday right away. It seems like it was quite a lot of people thinking that way. Do we think that this is what's going to push Coinbase to finally acknowledge meme coins for the revenue for this quarter? Do we think this is what it's going to take for them to finally sort of start buying into that?
I honestly just have no idea why. Like Coinbase have listed some stuff, but only futures in Europe. That's kind of how they like. That's what when you get a Coinbase listing these days, it's only for futures in Europe. They say, "Hey, we're going to list it." we're gonna list this perp. They should be listing these things. Like, these are meme coins. If Coinbase don't think that they can take that risk with meme coins, I don't know. Like, we could be here for maybe if Trump gets in, they're like, yeah, we're gonna start listing some meme coins. Like, but meme coins, right? Like, I don't know. It seems as though they're being very, very defensive to not list them. Is
there a reason for that? Because they listed Bonk quick. Obviously, like, they're very connected, it seems. They listed not even base memes. Actually, the one thing that made no sense to me, I'm sorry, was the degen chain, like all three perps like that, and that makes absolutely no sense. But they haven't even really acknowledged the memes on Coinbase, have they?
Well, this is the point. Like, they clearly have a thing against it, which I would see as the cleanest. All everyone's trading is memes. Like, you bring up.
Do you think it was because of the SEC suit?
I think it is. Yeah, I think because it's not just them. A lot of different US exchanges don't list them for spot, right?
You list every other fucking utility coin that has fake utility and governance. What's like? I don't understand. I mean, I guess I'm speaking to people who think like me. So, but I just don't get it.
I think it's strange for my because for one thing, they've been pretty strong in their defense of what they've done is completely right. So I don't see why they feel like listing meme coins would make their case worse.
Yeah. That's
yeah. It's a policy for sure. It's a policy from them that they don't.
It's clearly a policy. I've been pro Coinbase stock from an investment standpoint earlier in the year, but now, like, I'm looking at it, like, why would you own Coinbase stock over just owning Bitcoin at this point? I don't really know that it makes sense to.
Yeah. I prefer it versus ETH because I think a lot, like we've spoken about before, the base is just capturing so much of the trading and value right now. So I would look at Coinbase versus ETH, but I prefer Bitcoin and Solana to both of them.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know. I think they're gonna start listing meme coins. I genuinely think that these people wait for the right time. Because, like, if they had listed our meme coins like in the summer, what happened then? Like, it's not like they performed very well, right? And then it's not great. But like, if you list like a Pepe for now, like I saw you tweet about Pepe first, Mando. It's like, oh, it would start with Pepe. Seems like it would start with Pepe. It's the most logical coin to list first, though I do think WIF as well because the hat is on. But
because of my bags. No,
you should see the lines I drew on WIF. Only Tyler has seen them. They're private.
No, it's just like you never don't see Pepe in the top derivative or spot. Like, it's never not there. But that's not the case for so, like, it put in perspective yesterday, Pepe did 1.3 billion, WIF did 770 million. Mudang again did more than WIF, Mudang over $1 billion. So
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, WIF is there, but Pepe's the obvious one. Like, it has always been there.
It's by far the most obvious thing to me to be listed. Yeah. So I guess we'll see. We'll see what that unlocks. But, you know, Pepe would help a lot. It would help overall the ETH ecosystem for coins, I think. could use a dub like that. And then on the Solana side, I don't know who they would list first. But if Mudang got Bitcoin, Binance futures, and if they get spot, we'll see. But anyways, did you guys actually see that clip of CZ that surfaced this morning? People of the prison guards?
Yeah, they want to know his tips.
That was a funny one. He reveals that a couple prison guards asked him which coins he should buy. Didn't say which ones, but
tell us which.
Tell us which, indeed.
Of course, you would ask that question. That's the end. Ask him. Give me some money.
Yeah, he's not allowed to talk about crypto at all, actually. So he wasn't able to mention anything, and that's part of his thing. He can't talk crypto. He can talk family. Can talk all sorts of things. Can't talk crypto. Oh shit! I just saw the time. Tyler, what else? What else was like top headlines for you this morning?
Robinhood Europe, they're listing the top 5 meme coins. So if you want to know which coins,
like we said, there's no money in Europe. It's like we're launching it in Europe for like $5 volume at the break. Like,
There's going to be $5,000 volume traded in the next.
They pay you to trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's not a whole lot there, but they picked basically the big five. So I think we still have those coins as the primary leaders in the meme streets. I mean, let's see. Other than that, I don't know. The memes are all pretty much bleeding this morning. Goat's coming back to 500 million.
Love that.
Fooding is down. I don't know. I like this goat dip. I actually added a bit before the show.
What's Goat looking at right now? Let's go look at our memes.
20 before the show.
Let's go look at our memes. Let's check in on our memes that are bleeding right now. As Solana is literally trading like SBF. Is dumping the rest of his bag. I'm just kidding. Goat's at 520. How is Murad's memes doing right now?
They're down. I think Retardio was up. Most of the board was like slightly red. MOG was up. It reflipped SPX. Looks like those two.
Oh yeah, make sure you mention that though, right? Make sure you mention it, please.
Yeah. Those are my top four. FWOG, MOG. I mean, Goat's down. What, 6% from yesterday's show? But yeah, those are the four. Those are my.
I believe Retardio survived the Mando Kendall. So we've made it.
That wasn't the thing I sold, just to let you know.
No.
No.
Oh my god, I'm so bullish.
Yeah.
I reconsidered my entire life for a second here.
No. Top four, but it's not what I sold.
You know, the one that I'm surprised is actually performing like trash is lock in. I'm very disappointed in my lock-in pack, but it's okay. We stay locked in. But I have to say, like, this is the one that I thought, like, that's the term, right? Vidamo. Where are you at, Vidamo? Everybody tag Vidamo at the bottom right of his Twitter spaces right now, please. And tell Vidamo that Farouk has a message for him. Farouk needs Vidamo to stay locked in. Anyways, besides that, outside of this list, yes, FWOG. Saw a huge pump to 300 mil. Obviously, like a retrace here, but for me, like this fund, like I think this one's the next one they're going to send to $1 billion. I don't know what you guys think. No skin in that game, but I think this is the one. Looks like they've got a good setup there.
I have my four. Those are my four favorite. I don't think FWOG's going to $1 billion, but I do think it can do. I think it can do a 3x by year end if it.
Well, 3x is pretty much $1 billion, brother. But yeah,
close.
3x here from here is what? 795, 800 mil. So that would be pretty nice. Make sure you tag Vidamo here. And then what else? We're on the watch list in terms of memes. And Mudang. Let's talk about
runes. Pull up Mudang and then we'll go runes.
Let's talk about runes because your tweet that you shared from Farmer Joe is pretty interesting.
Yeah. So this was eye-opening for me. And I guess shame on me. I hadn't been paying attention to this closely enough. But it's been a liquidity suck out of the runes and ordinals ecosystem basically since the run up when runes launched in May. The overall ecosystem is down about 2,000 Bitcoin. The value is down a little bit less just because the price has gone up. But this kind of shows you that it's going to be hard for sustained pumps in the existing ecosystem until that starts to turn around. And I think we're seeing it with the Memento Mori drop. It's just confirmation bias, but basically all the leaders sold off 10 to 15% as folks got funds ready to buy the shiny new runes. And it saw 110 Bitcoin volume. It got to 15 million. And now it's kind of a question of what it's going to be able to do from here. Yeah, it's down to 12.7. So a strong first day, but until more Bitcoin comes on chain and starts playing with these assets, it's hard to be super bullish, right? Or again, like the surprise sex listing is the wild card here.
Yeah.
So we're rooting for sex.
Yeah, I mean, we're rooting for sex. Every single crypto participant is, but it seems like we can't even get our memes listed. So we'll see what happens there. You're right, dude. Like honestly, like every single time a new rune drops, like there was Memento Mori yesterday, like Pups takes a 40 million market cap hit. And it's not just Pups, just because that's the one I look at because I own it. But like every single one of them just drops. Even the collections, like the major 4 collections that we talk about, Quantum Cats, No Monkeys, Puppets, and what's the other one again? OMB. They dump like 15, 20 points the second there's one other hot narrative on runes. Like it's never happened that everything goes up together. I mean, as soon as something's out, like as soon as it's a hot shiny thing, everything dumps. So I don't think there's a lot of people trading runes at the moment on there. No matter how much Like Magic Eden is really doing a good effort at making it easier, but it's tough so far. So let's root for Sex and right, Griffin. Of course, Griffin would tweet that, would message that because Griffin did it. What's up?
How do I look at the top?
You just go to runes and sort by volume.
How do you look at the top runes?
Here, you go to Magic Eden. They've honestly done Magic Eden's done an incredible job. Here, you go by volume.
I was trying to sort by market cap, but that's just terrific.
No, by market cap you can't. You gotta do by volume here. There you go. So by volume, Momentum Mori has done $8 million in volume, but you see, $8 million volume is like the total volume for runes, like for the last 15 days.
Nothing else is over $1 million. I mean, yeah.
Like Pops is doing 200K volume a day.
Yikes.
Yeah. So there's not much volume. Yeah, there's really not much volume going on there. Like Puka was the new narrative, now it's 5 mil. It's doing 71K volume. Like the average shit going on Solana does like 10 times that volume. You know what I mean?
What I will say is all these coins did level up in that time period where the Bitcoin total supply drops by 2,000. So we still did see a pretty big run without an influx. So it's possible. But like to go further from here, it seems like it's going to take a little bit more.
It's going to take more, right? But the good thing on the flip side is if you catch the pumps on a little volume, it's fireworks, right? Like Pups just went from 90 mil to like 175 mil in like a day, Mando. You know what I mean? So it's like, and that was on like 400K volume. So it's like, it really doesn't take much to get fireworks going on that.
Is that like, you need to sell these pumps?
Yeah. It reminds me, oh, I know what it reminds me of.
Just a little bit. And then you can buy it back. But like the gaps in runes are just insane.
You could write like 90K. You could write 90 mil to 150 mil on Pups probably for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's going to still happen, right? And the thing, you know what it reminds me of? Trading NFTs pre-Genie, pre-X2Y2, pre-Looks Rare, pre all this stuff. Opens, remember buying them one by one off the floor and having to front run each other because you didn't know where to buy, so you had to go 3 rows down? That's exactly what it's like. Yeah. And in a way, some people made a ton of money because if you play that to your advantage, you know, it works out. So you should accidentally sell your Pups like Tyler does, and then it works out.
I mean, it's still so there's still an advantage to like this runes. Like the low volume sucks, but like go look at RIP ETH, the runner from this morning. So everyone was sending me RIP ETH.
Same, and it's dead now.
And it died in 5 minutes. So like you can't even go outside.
Classic. You know how many times I got rugged yesterday? I got rugged 3 times on 3 different coins. Actually, I think I got rugged like 6-7 times this week. I'm so tired of it.
It's been a bad week for the trenches, which is weird because like Luce was a big hit, and it seemed like everyone printed on that.
I had a huge dump overnight, and then it came back as well. Yeah. Yeah, that's some dump overnight came back. Anyways, I'm seeing the time. We're going to get to Robot spins, but quickly, just to mention what Tyler talked about earlier, Decrypt readers. You're going to be able to access Marriott. We have been keeping Marriott in closed beta all October for reasons that you're about to find out over the next month of November. It's there. Marriott is available for Decrypt newsletter participants. Just go on to Decrypt's Twitter account. I think you had to retweet that today anyways to enter the Robot giveaways. So you can check it out, but make sure you check it out. Don't sleep on that. And if I were you, once let's let drank points get farmed first, but I would start farming that as well. Because it's going to be an exciting November, December coming ahead on our front. But yeah, definitely check it out. We're going to be allowed 100,000 more people. It's been good so far. We've only opened whitelist to 3,500 users, and we have 1,000 weekly actives. So it's not a bad ratio. And now we're finally able to open to some more people. We had to wait a little bit in the back end. So some exciting stuff going on. Drinks is the code for today's rafflebot.xyz. And Mr. Sims, let's get this out there, baby. Let's pick the winner. All right. And the winner is Nifty Millennial. Bam. I missed the music, Sims.
I know, me too.
Yeah. What's going on with that?
Yeah, they're back tomorrow. Back tomorrow.
There's been 600 sales of
600 rec sales on the show. There you go.
US, they're hungry, thirsty.
We're gonna attribute all those sales to FOMO hour, and we're gonna put that in the deck. See, we just sold 600 20 times 24, so we've sold 14,000 cans of reg drinks.
Let's fucking go!
What up, Elder Millennial?
How you guys doing?
How you doing? Web3 evangelist, co-creator of Average Sunday, Bobu committee member. You're an Azuki Elemental. Are you ready to win?
I'm fucking ready, guys.
I love that. Life has been so good since we've got this tool to pick people. All right. So as usual, Sprotos, miladies, punks, red guys, everything is sorted for you. And let's spin. Well, it's a red guy. Congratulations. You win
Thank you so much.
red guy.
Thank you so much.
Congrats. There you go. Another, what is it? Another $2,000 given away on FOMO Hour. And guess what, y'all? We're going to give you more money away tomorrow. Let's hope that, we see a little bouncy bounce on our coins. And with that, we'll see y'all tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the episode of FOMO Hour on Rug Radio. Let's go.